Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, thank you, Mr. Producer. And the gentleman I am joined with is David Hill, and David Hill is the owner of Today's Climb, and that's in Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. Welcome back to the show, David.
Thanks for having me again, sir. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, man. It's like we were talking about. It's always good to see the person that you've been working with and everything. And can you tell people about the work that you do?
Yeah, I know last week we went into a whole dialogue of a backstory, but it's just, how do we get into that step? All the identification problems leading into everyone's isolated, and we all get depressed, and just how I want to bring everything into light and give everyone a new perspective, and just setting goals. That's the whole realm, all the processes that I want to get into today, and just share with everyone. That's pretty much summing it up.
Gotcha. Yeah. If people haven't heard David's show before, he is an extremely effective and successful life coach. Coming from a lot of his experiences, he's used that along with his training and everything to help people along. And one thing that I wanted to discuss with you today, David, is I'm sure there are people out there that may not know when the time is to go seek you, to go know that they have a problem. It could be anything. What are your thoughts on that, David?
Well, for me, like when you're in a really, really dark spot, you as an individual, you need the help. It's obvious. I mean, even someone who puts a needle in their arm, snorts the biggest line of cocaine, drinks like a fish, they know they have a problem, and they want to seek out to it. You're not going to call a lawn guy up to go get yourself clean. How you can find it in yourself, speaking up about it. If more people can get a voice coming out before that what if, make that change. And if you can just identify with yourself and realize, look at everything around me, like everything just feels like it's caving in. Is it worth ruining your family, your career, pushing those loved ones away and starting over? Like I'm almost 40 and here I am building myself back up. It's great. I love it, but I don't ever want to do it again.
I got you.
And if you can just stop getting to that point, that's where I want to come in and really, really get a hold of people and just touch them. And, instead of just putting your arm around somebody, I mean, luckily I can do the online thing, but just being a mode of confidence to people and just letting somebody know, you are worth it. You can do this. It is okay. You're not the only one, because essentially we are living somebody's dream. Like you are living someone's dream. They want to be in your spot, sir. Somebody wants to be in my spot. They have it worse. And that's like my motto. I've been told that, and that's how I live it today. You are living someone's dream.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never heard it like that. That's kind of brilliant, actually. David, I guess before we get into more of the program and everything that you have to offer, I asked you before, like, when does someone know that something's a problem? What if, and I'm sure you hear this all the time, but I'm sure people out there, this affects or relates to them. What if somebody has a problem? What if they're doing heroin, cocaine, drinking, whatever it may be, but they get into work, they got a family, and for now, they're holding it together. Have you seen this all the time? Is this a normal thing?
Yeah, I mean, there are people that can function like that, but when you start peeling back and talking to people about it, like what I tell somebody, and this could sound wrong, again, I've never done it. I don't condone this. If you happen to murder somebody on a Monday and you go and do it again 6 months later and you murder somebody again, you're starting to be a serial killer, right? So what's the difference of, so I do heroin once here, but I don't do it again for 2 months later. You're still ultimately abusing whatever it is that issue. And instead of like trying to just say, you know what, put it away, identify what could be getting you to that point.
Great point.
So like everybody, in the way that I see it, they just want to jump in and no, stop, don't do this, don't do that. No, what is it in your life choices that makes you go back to that? And that's where I want to help people get to, because if you can identify that, then you can really get to work with that individual, and you can really hit it home that maybe, they're all not bad people. They just make a bad choice. I wasn't a bad person.
So you're saying that's a game changer when you're able to know that you need to peel these layers back and find out what the reason is that is making you do this stuff.
Right. And then just talking about it when it's goal oriented, the customers that, like when I send them out that goal sheet, they're writing me what their goals are, what they want to do. So you've already told me you want to accomplish this. It's just a mode of confidence. Some people just procrastinate a little bit. And because they don't meet all 12 of these goals they want to do, they feel like they're a failure. So then that leads to more depression, which isolates. So it causes that problem to arise. So they go to their fallback. They'll go to the bottle. They'll go to a little speed bump, a little 8-ball, something to pick them up with. But you hold people accountable, give them a little bit of work to do. Hey, just try walking twice a week. If they don't maintain that, but yet they want to go back to school or do a career change, you need to just start with the basics, a building block, a foundation. Start with one thing. And if you accomplish it, go reward yourself, man. Go out and get that nice dinner you always wanted. Go dress nice, feel good. You did it. Look what you can accomplish. You put your mind to something. And then they start building up confidence. You can attach the next goal to them. And you can work with them as individuals, as people, instead of, well, the drug's the problem, the drinking's the problem. Yeah, we know that's the issue. I mean, ultimately, but when you just talk to them like normal people, talk to them like you're just real to them.
Yeah.
With passion, care, and just real understanding. And that's just where I want to come in. And because I've gone through these things, I really think it hits harder with these people. And like I've mentioned, I've lost a house. I've been divorced. I've had 7 credit cards that I've had to go pay off. And it's great. I know that I can do it. I've done it. Some of the clients I've actually found out, I've told them, I go, I've had it worse than you have. And I'm very humble about it. And they're just like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
There's other people's in your shoes,
Yeah, David. I think a lot of the time people don't really know what to expect. They know they got a problem, but they don't really know what to do. So I would assume the first thing to do is, because you can help people just like this, like virtually. You can do this, right? It doesn't matter where I am. I could be international, as long as we speak the same language. Right. You can help me, right?
Yeah, technology's great when it works. Long as there's not like a software update going on in the middle of. But you are correct. You could be on a vacation somewhere and, hey, I'm feeling alone, and you found my ad on Google, you found my website, whatever it was, and we can talk right then and there just to stop somebody from, just reaching out to them and just grabbing a hold of them and just starting that change. But, and then with it being goal-based is you put in what you want to get out of it. And
as in life, right?
right. And that's everyday life, and I'm just there pretty much to hold your hand through it, but you're doing all the work. You've done it. So my confidence, like when I hear these success stories of these people, it's literally like, it's like, great job, man. Look at you. Go, girl. Come on, go get it. You've done it.
Must be awesome. That must be awesome. That's probably such a great feeling at your job. It's got to be the best thing when you see somebody.
It makes every hair stand up on my body. It gives me goose. I mean, it's a great feeling knowing that just I'm here. They could be halfway across the country, and just the impact on it. It is great. It makes what I do fantastic.
I bet. Now, David is now. So we have a conversation, and we both we both realize that if you'll take me and we're a good fit, I need to get in your program. Can you take me through the next step? What happens next?
Yeah. So when we do the sign up, that's almost like the consultation.
Okay.
You've emailed me. There's a contact form. I call you up. We talk, and with you calling me again, you're already reaching out because you're calling a life coach for addiction and just everyday struggle. So we're going to talk about that. I'll probably give you a short version of my backstory just to break the ice. This is who you're talking to. And then when you do sign up, I've got these forms I sent out. It's a contract and liability form, just stating that, if you're going to do something to yourself or commit a crime, I'm going to have to go and report that. And it talks about price range that we agree on. But then I like to send out what I call a goal setting sheet. What you want to accomplish in the next 3 to 6 months. What do you want to start at in a month? That way, when we do get that first session going, we're diving into work. Mm-hmm. We're not going back to what we just had a consultation about. I already have a nice sheet of stuff you've told me about. Like, you've told me things that it could be 4 different ways of just, you want to get out and just exercise for 20 minutes a day, but yet you want to go to school, you want to finish up like a math degree, or you want to change a career path. But if you can't maintain that little bit of walking, how can we get to those 5th, 6th, 7th goals? So let's start basic. Let's break it down. What
foundation you're talking about?
That's right. Right. And then we'll start there for a week. And then in the middle of that week, there's like a upwards of a 20-minute phone call check-in. It's like leaving a doctor. When you get asked to do something, you want to call up, hey, what was that assignment? What was that thing you want me to do? And just to check in to see where they're at, and just emails throughout the week. I just send positive vibes their way. Just stuff that's uplifting of, all right, how you doing? Could be worse. Keep it up. You're doing great. Just nice little mementos that when they open up their phone to start their day, it's like, wow, somebody does care about me today.
Right. And are all of your clients virtual like this, or are there some people that come down there to meet with you, or if they're local, do they meet with you one-on-one in person?
So surprisingly, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I actually haven't had anybody local yet in my own hometown. I've had a couple virtual, and most of them so far they've chosen to do over the phone. I do have a virtual one coming up this weekend. Just because scheduling, they wanted to do it this weekend, and it's all about the customer. It's all about the client.
Right. You'll meet them where they are. You got it.
Right. But as far as traveling yet, I'm not there yet. But if I am on vacation and I happen to be in Arizona, somebody wants to meet me face to face, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all up for that.
Mm-hmm. I got you. So now we've made some goals. We're in touch, and you're checking in on me. And what are some other things? Do you ever tell people to maybe find an AA? Is that part of the program, or an NA, or anything else besides our sessions? What other stuff? And maybe the walking and stuff like that. What else happens in the program?
So far, no. That's actually a funny question. I don't want to say funny because it's it's a serious point, but so far I haven't found that somebody's had to go to that just because
you're that good.
No, I'm not saying I'm that good, but when it hits down to it, if you want to stop and go down to once or twice a week, like I do ask about intake, and you can tell when someone's trying to, that saying, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Right.
I happen to be that guy.
Yeah. So okay.
And plus I'm just being honest with them of going, yeah, I know what it used to be. I used to go into a handle, I could do 12 shots a day. If it was brown, pour it, so I can relate. And if I said, oh, I was going to wait all week, then Friday came around, I hadn't drank all week, look out, put me in a padded room, throw away the key, man. It ended up being like one of them smash rooms. And I'd look back at my phone and go, who did I call? What did I do? Oh man. And
Oh
just the
no.
embarrassing story, I don't know if you've ever been that low, but
Mm.
it's one of the worst feelings when you wake up and go, and you got people telling you, hey, you did this.
And
This
you
is
didn't
what
even
you,
know it. Mm.
yeah. And then you're trying to piece together what that night was, what that day was. And it's, oh man, and then you find out, oh crap, the car's in the front yard.
Oh.
That's one. I mean, yeah, I mean, just all that variable. What could have been. So I I can relate to these people pretty good. And then because of this goal sheet, what I find out is when we do set up the appointment, they look at it like that's almost like their diary log. So they hold themselves accountable because they finally wrote something down on paper. So
So
they
that's
get
a
to,
real important step is to
yeah,
is to have that.
so they're like almost admitting to themselves, well, I don't want to let this guy down before the first talk or the second talk. I need to start attacking some of these. And just these little steps that we work on for like a 1 week plan, when they start trying to accomplish these, I'm like, so what did you try doing a month ago? What were you doing like 6 months ago? Were you doing any of this? They're like, no, that wasn't even a thought. Well, look where you've come, man. Just in this 1 week, and you didn't even know me. And they're just blown away with what I'm like, you've already put your mind to something and you've stuck with it. Let's take it up another notch. Let's go up to the third level. Let's really kick it, and just you're you're building these people up from the ground. I mean, I hate to talk like that, but you're just starting at the basics. And
No, that's
when
accurate.
you work with these people, to me, I find that to be a little more comforting because a lot of these people, in my struggle, the biggest thing is you're isolated. That's one of
Isolation, yeah.
that's the strongest. It's isolation, depression. I mean, you just
There's a
just feel really
hopelessness,
alone.
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's yeah, and wow, that's a deep word when you're talking about that. Hopelessness.
Mm.
That yeah,
Well, guys, I'm speaking with David Hill, and David Hill has helped so many people, whether it just be something missing in their life, whether it's an addiction. He's an incredible life coach, and he's given back to people, helping them with their struggles. So, David, you got a bunch of people that have written in here, want to ask you questions on the instant feedback. Can we go to some of your audience here?
yeah. Sure, let's give it a try. Yeah, why not?
All right, Mr. Producer, what do you got?
We have Peter in Kentucky who wants to know how much do you make yourself available to your clients in the beginning, and does it change the more progress they make?
Good question, Peter.
No, to just jump right in there. No, it stays the same. Like I also like I want to refer to myself as their liaison, their concierge. Whatever you need, if you need me anytime. I always grew up with the only stupid question is the one not asked. No offense to anybody, but if we're talking about something, you need me in a day. That's why my Facebook page, Today's Climb, I always put up positive, funny memes about daily encouragement and stuff. If that's not positive enough, call me, text me. I only know what's going on with what you want to provide me. And if you need me for more than that, we've signed a contract. I am here for you guys, for you. Like that's just what it boils down to. And if we need to talk more, you need to call me up at night. I mean, if I'm asleep, first thing in the morning, I look right at my phone. We're going to have a conversation. I'm going to reach out to you.
I got you. Now, David, for starting off, say you get a new client, does it happen a lot where you'll talk to them every day? Is it all one-on-one? Is that how your program works? Basically, can you tell me about some of the programs that you have?
Yeah, so pretty much, I can do a pay by session, but majority right now, what people do is they normally just do my 1 month, and
1 month. Okay.
they just go at a month at a time. And in that you get 4 1-hour sessions. So once a week we get 4 1-hour talks. And then in between that is like a check-in. It's up to a 20-minute phone call, just because somebody could be on their lunch break. They could be going to work, whether they're on their way home, they're sitting at a park, wherever they are. We just have a check-in, and you get direct email call access to me because we signed that contract. This is what's all included. And I also send out a free Today's Climb t-shirt like the one I got on now. So wherever you're at in the United States, that's part of it. And that's my monthly package. And if you need me more for that, call me, text me. It does not cost more. The farther along we go, it does not change. We have a contract. I myself have an obligation to you as a person. And the emphasis on you and person, because we are all people and we need to be treated like it.
No doubt. And I know that you're in huge demand, but are you taking on new clients right now? Do you have a couple spaces left?
All the time.
Okay, awesome. And how do people get a hold of you if they want to get your services?
They can go to todaysclimb.com, or they can call me directly, 321-591-1818.
Okay, great. Thanks,
David. I've got a phone number that's got 911 in it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Producer, what else we got with the audience?
We have Trish in New York wants to know, when trying to make these major life changes, do we need to identify how what we see on TV or online is affecting us?
Oh, I mean, that right there can depress anybody, because I mean,
so true.
A lot of that can be propaganda, but mainly you just need to find it for yourself. You need to use the mind and figure out what you feel right and wrong is. So if you want to watch TV, you want to look at the internet, form your own opinion. And, because a lot of it goes left, a lot of it's right. And where we've lost track is sometimes people need to be told, no,
right.
This is not right. This is not normal. This is not reality anymore. And when you start losing track of all that, you get wrapped up and you get consumed, and it consumes you. And then it just, I don't even really like talking about it, because it just creates a bunch of nastiness.
Gotcha. Understood. Okay.
I hope that answers that lady's question. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. All right. What else you got there, Mr. Producer?
Matt in New Orleans wants to know, I grew up under the impression that men aren't honest about their feelings. How can I overcome that?
Good question, Matt.
Speak up. I mean, that's the big thing. Us as men, that's what led to more of my isolation. Us as men, we get that saying, buck up. Oh, good. Why don't you start taking a couple pills to grow a set, dude? No, just look yourself in the mirror and just, what do I want to be? Talk to somebody. If you can't talk to your buddies and just open up, and they're going to razz you a little bit, but if they don't have your back, move on.
It's that isolation you're talking about. You'll get there, right?
Yeah. It's such a lonely place. I mean, no, you got to be able to, everyone needs to just talk about their feelings. And the more that I don't want to put words in people's mouth. The more that I kept things in, the more the outburst I gave, the more it went into the bottle, the more it went into the decisions that I did. Real nasty things happened, especially in the mind. And when you lose control of the mind, whoa, watch out.
Yeah. It's like you said before, it's like you got to shine the light on these things, or else they're not going anywhere.
Correct. They'll just be masked with a buzz, and then you're still going to wake up in the morning with the same underlying issues. Talk about it.
Okay. Do we have time for one more? We do. Okay, great. Mr. Producer's got one more for us. And thank you for everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody. I see there's a bunch over there. I just can't read them. But thank you for writing, and maybe we'll get to you another time. But here we go.
We have Karen in Virginia wants to know, can comparing ourselves to other people's success affect our self-confidence?
Yes. And ultimately, because you don't want to, you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes. You can't just fast forward time and go into, well, where am I going to be in 6 months? You got to work at it. And ultimately, you're not going through your only problems. You're living somebody else's dream, is what I was always told. And it cuts deep. If you got a house over your head, bed, running water, somebody wishes they could be living where you're at. That's living somebody's dream. So the end of the day, it could be worse. Don't make it. Be happy. The sun shines in the morning. Live with it. Enjoy it. You're living somebody else's dream. Is that, to me, that cuts deep.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Hey guys, I'm going to speak with David Hill. He's the owner of Today's Climb. Everybody should go over to todaysclimb.com. David, let me give you the last word here because we're out of time. Great information. Thank you so much for your honesty and for what you're doing and helping people. But let me give you the last word. Anything you want the audience to remember. Once again, thank you for spending the time with me.
Yeah, just the last word, just to hit home. We need to start talking about ourselves and our thoughts to people, bringing them out to light. A lot of people keep everything sheltered, bottled up. And if we can just talk about our feelings, and in a society to where we feel neglected in a sense of, oh, this person, what they call mental health issues. Yes, some people do have mental health problems, but they're all good people. And if we can just come together and love each other, be there for people, so many of these problems that we have, we'll be able to get through them as a country, as people, and it'll just be a better place. When shouldn't be judging people just because of what they're going through, because when you go through it, then what? Put the shoe on the other foot. How do you want to be treated when you get to that point? When you're 88 years old, how do you want to be treated in life? Do you want good care, or do you want to be thrown into a freaking senior home and nobody visits you? So start treating people the way you would want to be treated. Simple practices, and it goes a long way in life. And we just need to start understanding that.
Yeah. David, great points, great information. And that's David Hill. Go to todaysclimb.com. Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure. Can't wait to talk to you again. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You guys have a nice day.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.